we're talking about, should the Niners go to Teddy Bridgewater? Should they do Alex Smith? Every quarterback, Sam Darnold, every freaking quarterback, Andy Dalton, Cam Newton. So, I mean, isn't it fair to at least discuss Colin Kaepernick? I don't know how much money he would want to play football. He did struggle his last 2 years. He played for Jeep Chris and Chip Kelly. I mean, he has an excuse. This team is different. He was good at one point. He hasn't played in 4 years. I don't know what he would want, but he probably can't even ask for that much money. Assuming he's at the same price point as Cam Newton, should the Niners sign Colin Kaepernick? Whoever wants to go first is welcome to.
I'll go ahead and go first. I mean, yeah, okay. I really wish they hadn't taken they had signed and kept Colin Kaepernick back in 2017. I think they could have done a lot better with him than what they did with by letting him go and bringing in Hoyer. I think he would have been a much better route to go than the direction that they took. Bringing him back now, that's a little bit of a stretch, I think, just because he's been gone for so long. I don't know if there's any quarterback that's been out of the league for 3 or 4 years that's ever come back and been able to play. So that's the only thing that kind of holds me back on Kaepernick. You just haven't seen him for 4 years, and you don't know where he is with his game and if he could even step in and play. Wouldn't be a bad deal if you sign him to a minimum deal and bring him into camp and see what he can do.
Yeah, I think I'm with Jack. I thought it was pretty ludicrous that they dropped him as soon as Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch took over. It's like, great, we're running out Brian Hoyer. Like, what? I don't know. I guess they just like, all right, we're just gonna cut. They're just gonna cut all the ties and just wash everything of the previous regime, I guess. But like Jack said, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, I personally don't think I'd advocate it, and I love Colin Kaepernick. That was one of the first articles I ever wrote as a writer when he, did all that 4 or 5 years ago. So, I don't see why not. You wouldn't. I just wouldn't have any expectation of him because he's been gone for so long. Not to say he couldn't still be somewhat sufficient or even be a backup role, but I mean, I just don't really see what he's going to be able to do at this point. I know there's a lot of supporters like let's give him a job and stuff like that. And, considering that you got Josh McCown getting a job out there for who's on and off again, retirement, and all these other washed up players. Why not get him and bring him to camp and just see what's up? I just don't think the 49ers are inclined, and if they didn't keep him back then, why would they even sniff him now?
Jose, I don't know how you got Josh McCown because that's exactly who I was going to throw out as my example of guys that are on practice squads, and especially last year with veterans that are on practice squads where you can have guys. I've said what I've said about Cap. I think he is – who knows without the last couple of years playing, but I still think skill-wise he would be a top 64 quarterback in the NFL, and every team needs a starter and a backup, so I think he would be worthy of a team. I don't know if the Niners would want to do that just because of the history or whatever. I would give Kaepernick a contract as long as he's willing to – contract-wise, as long as he's not expecting Dak Prescott money, I think it'd be worthy of a flyer, but – who knows? I think he's worth it, but I guess some people don't.
I think you can make an argument in favor of it. Like, I always felt he was better than Cam Newton. I mean, when he was playing, he was better than Andy Dalton. He was better than Andy Dalton. Did he not improve? No, he didn't improve. But if you're just comparing him to the other guys, like at the bottom of off the scrap heap that you can get for presumably cheap, he's as interesting and accomplished and young as probably any of them. And in that sense, it would be really cool to have him on the team. The reason I'm going to say no is I think it's time for the Niners to stop trading for quarterbacks or signing quarterbacks. Draft one. Mm-hmm. Draft a freaking quarterback. They haven't drafted one since 2017, which is unreal. They just got to bring a young guy. As Joe Montana said yesterday when I had him one-on-one, humble brag. He said, can they just bring in a young guy, draft a guy? And it seems like so simple when he said it. Yeah. Why don't you just try? They haven't even tried. Josh Rosen is interesting. He's someone they can develop. They can put him on the practice squad. They need to draft a quarterback. And Colin Kaepernick, it's terrible what happened to him. And it's tragic in a lot of ways. And I would love him to get another opportunity. He's still young. He still has a future. Not on the Niners. Draft a guy. Don't bring in Sam Darnold or anyone like that and move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's time to bring in someone who's like 22. I'm cool with that. So anyway, nothing personal against Kaepernick. I hope he gets a job somewhere. That's all we got. People in there saying, screw me, I'm going there. All right, well, I figured I was going to take the comments there with that topic, but I'm glad. I think we handled that well. Thank you, everyone, for indulging me on that one. And
does anyone off the top of their head who the red zone leader targets or touchdowns was this season? Because I remember before the season, we had this conversation. Who's going to be like the Kendrick Bourne for the red zone from 2019 and 2020? Like, we never followed up with that. We never followed up with that. I think some of us said Dwelly, Kittle. I think even someone mentioned Debo. I don't remember who I mentioned. I think I mentioned Debo or Kittle.
All right,
I don't know who I said, but I know it was wrong. So
get it for you right now. Hold on.
I can't even remember how many red zone targets either in terms of just passing, because I felt like a lot of times they were obviously going to run it.
Okay, I got it. So in terms of who led the team in catches in the red zone and touchdowns in the red zone, okay,
Jordan Reed.
No. Okay, you're wrong. Okay, what are your guesses? What are your guesses? Who is the Niners' leading red zone receiver in catches and touchdowns? Maverick already lost.
Well, fine. That was my real guess. I was just
okay. So Maverick gets a second guess because he blurted out the wrong one.
Wow.
Well, no. I won't guess. I'll do what you do during trivia.
Is it? You cheat. Oh yeah, that's right.
Look off to the side.
I got a reputation, Maverick. I can't be losing these things. No,
yeah, Cheetah. Yeah, Cheetah Grant.
Who is it?
Wilson?
Who? No, receiver. No, it's not.
Oh, receiver. I thought you just meant overall person.
No, receiver. Catches and touchdown catches.
Yeah, I was trying to overthink it. I was like,
14 targets, 9 catches, 5 touchdowns, 7 first downs. Ayuk is going to have a monster year next year because Kyle doesn't call plays for George Kittle and Debo down there. Ayuk is the guy.
On Ayuk's touchdown against Dallas, just watch the right side of the offensive line, please. That 1 yard or that 2 yard touchdown. Just watch the right side of the line on that play. I know it went to the left.
Is it just execution at its finest, synchronicity, all of it?
Just watch the right side of the line on that catch. He goes to the left on. Just do it.
Nice. Okay, I will.